All right. Hello, everybody. Got a special guest today, and we might have more guests. It's our man Dottie hanging out in Beverly Hills.
Actually in freezing Lisbon.
Oh, is it cold over there?
I'm wearing my down jacket in what looks like to be my LA mansion, but it's actually my freezing cold Lisbon apartment.
That's awesome. Today, I think we're going to do something a little different. We're just going to talk about, people can ask us questions. I think I am streaming. I should be able to be heard. We might have our head of communications join us. He'll come sliding on in. I want to touch on a variety of topics, not just Darkblock related, but also kind of get our stuff in. All right, you ready, Dottie? I've got what do you know about Bonk, bro?
Me?
Mhm.
I can do the. I can be like your mom. Like I basically be like your mom explaining, technology. So yeah, I'm kind of there with my kind of awareness of Bonk. I don't know who's behind it. I have seen the hype. I've seen how it's being leveraged in the space. I think it almost ushered in the bull market
Right.
last week, and I saw a lot of hope going on here. I have some friends here in the industry here in Lisbon, and
Well, I
is
think
it has it changed or
no,
like
no. What I think it's interesting is it's kind of a load test for the Solana network, right? Just kind of verifying speeds of transactions. Um, and it's, yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a test, a canary in the coal mine to test that Solana's kicking butt, which they are. I just got like a 1.5 million, and the I don't know, the token allotments are so weird. So I got like 1.5 million last night for some other NFT project I supported. But it's not really worth anything. Like it is. I guess I could convert it to USD, but it's not about that. It's about just incentivizing new people into uh, the community. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea. I'm playing with all camera stuff today, guys. So I think it's anything to bring new people to crypto. Right? We have 200,000 to 500,000 wallets, that might have humans on the end of them. And we got to get into the millions or the billions for this thing to like.
yeah. I mean, we at Darkblock we're all about bringing utility to
Oh,
NFT, the space
geez.
of NFT.
You can't
But
even turn it off.
I know. I'm sorry, but I have a minor segue there. But then there's like that phrase. Sometimes the old ways are the best. If this is what it takes to kind of get us kind of moving again and blowing some like heating up the cold hands. I'm all for it. That's what this space does have. It does have has a lot of this kind of this anticipation and hype kind of manufacturing because there is so much promise behind the tech. So if this is what it takes to get us moving again, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it's right. And whether there's a marketing task that you have to rename NFTs something else, the virtual collectibles or digital trading cards or what
Right.
have you, it doesn't matter. That blockchain foundation that's what we're interested in. That's what most folks are. Oh, look at this. A Prism, of course, has already got homework for us. Yeah, let's just slide right in. Hold on. I got Wit coming. Hold on, Prism. Wit, you're on the air.
I'm here.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry I'm running late. I just got off a call with a comic book creator who has tons of awesome ideas and loves Darkblock and is really jazzed. So it was hard. So
that's kind of our problem. Our like we got to be like Johnny Appleseed, where we're just like we have to like do demos for people one at a time, and then they're like all these lights go off, and it's like, oh, holy smokes! Like it'd be great if we could mass communicate to folks. All right, here, I have a question for you, Wit, and Dottie, and we don't have to get Yeah, it's Prism. All right, here it goes. What are the goals? 2023 goals for Darkblocks. He just like cut right to the chase, right?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
What are the
I
goals?
mean, I'd say Wit was basically working on one of the goals. Is just we need to onboard a lot more creatives into Web3 and get and bringing some value to all the narratives that are around NFTs and all the promise, that this insanely cool technology will allow us to do. And so we just need to onboard a whole lot of
Is that our
creators.
job? Like I feel like the chains are, these foundations and these guys, like that's their job. Like we're kind of tool makers, and we just got to make our tools really obvious and easy to use, but we don't have to carry all of Ethereum on our back, do we? Are you in charge of that? Like we're not.
I don't know. I mean, it's decentralized, so if everybody carries a little bit,
Okay.
everybody can.
So you go to the local mall, like after we get done with this, you go to the mall, and I need you to set up 10 random people with wallets, like on their phone, just like stop them in the. I don't think I just wonder, like, what is going to be the thing that gets new people to this world? Yeah, onboarding. Here you go. Prism.
I saw like there was this. There was some content creator, I don't know, some dude on the internet basically was talking about, what is going to be the big thing for NFTs in 2023.
Right.
And basically it's going to be, the free mints that you do, like Manchester United or some NBA team does something and it's just for fans, and they just mint them for free. Right. And they're basically just collectibles. And in that process, they somehow get onboarded into Web3. Now they have a wallet. It may be custodial, but they'll kind of rub shoulders with the whole space and kind of enter it with the little toe or something. And it'll be through something like that. It won't be through maybe Justin Bieber does a free mint or whatever, here, something like that, which is kind of disguises NFTs, disguises Web3. And then that is going to, like, a few of those, which everybody in Web3 and all the builders and all the people who've been here for ages, they were like, we don't think that's super cool because it's just not revolutionary or something like that. But that's probably how the masses are going to enter the space. It's kind of under the guise of something else. It's going to be free. There's not going to be really any kind of trading action around it. But they'll have an NFT in a wallet somewhere, and they'll be exposed to this thing, and that's kind of how it starts to roll.
But what do you think, Whit? Like, what happens in 2023? Like, we've got Darkblock plans and goals, but like we live in this, we work in this space that it's day to day. It's either booming or dying, and maybe it's been doing that for a decade. But like, what happens? Beyonce does something. Drake does something. Like, what's your prediction?
Prediction for NFT specific prediction for 2023?
Bringing, whether you call it NFT or not, but bringing new people to this world that we kind of believe in and are focused on.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's going to happen in 2023 necessarily. And 2023 is just another building year. But I mean, I think we will need another impetus of some sort to onboard the next very large wave of people. Now, there are multiple ways that could happen. If you think about the last big cycle, and actually how I think, Joey, both you and I kind of started getting NFTs was NBA Top Shot, right? Now, NBA Top Shot was awesome. And if you remember, you didn't need to know anything about NFTs or, secret phrases or wallets or anything like that, right? It was, it was very much a seamless onboarding experience from Web 2 to Web 3. Yep. But you think about the impact that it's had on Web 3, all the people like, me and you are full-time in Web 3 now who got on, right? So it's going to be, could be something like that. Reddit provided a bit of a playbook about how, existing Web 2 platforms could help in that. I don't think Reddit has had as big of an impact as maybe some people thought when you actually look at the
Right.
number of wallets it said they created and that sort of thing. But it could be something like that. And as you said, if you have a large creator suddenly get involved, absolutely. I mean, if Ticketmaster pisses off Taylor Swift again, like who knows? Maybe Taylor Swift is just gonna, I don't know. Screw you. I'm only gonna play at arenas that don't use Ticketmaster and I can sell NFT tickets. What if she did that? Or she could say like, hey, screw you, record label. I'm gonna release an NFT and lock an album in it. I mean, a lot of musicians don't like the idea of locking an album inside an NFT. They want their music to be freely listenable and streamable. But if someone the size of Taylor Swift did that, I mean, if she pissed off a lot of people, I'm sure, but I bet she would sell the crap out of that collection.
Yeah, but she's also an empire to herself, right? So she has a bunch of mouths to feed, and guaranteed money versus risky isn't the right word, but like unproven, like blazing a trail and changing so many things. Who has done that? Like who has done that previously?
Yeah. You need risk takers. You need people that are willing to push the envelope. I mean, we are at the stage with NFTs. I mean, this came up in my conversation with the comic book creator I was just on, right? I was just on a call with. We're at the stage in NFTs where we have this really new technology. We believe that's the future ownership technology, delivery technology. Mm-hmm. We're at the stage where we're using this groundbreaking technology and applying it to old existing formats. Locking an album inside an NFT or, token gating a comic book or something like that. We're at the stage where when the movie cameras first were developed and, these were like newfangled things. And what were the first films? They were like recordings of plays on a stage, right? This new groundbreaking technology applied to an old format. That's where we are with NFTs. Like we are taking NFTs and applying them to old formats. Once filmmakers realized that this new technology, they could zoom in on faces and do big panoramic wide shots. And, hey, we actually don't need to be on a stage. We can be on a street. We can be on a rooftop. Like, obviously, like the opportunities that were created, storytelling opportunities are just amazing. So we're at that space with NFTs. We're applying it to old formats. And what I love about Darkblock is we are enabling creators to start exploring these new opportunities. So
it's funny. I think you were alive when those first movies came out. I have a feeling, when talkies showed up. We've got in the crowd. We've got Songs of Eden. Yeah. So how can Darkblock help musicians? Right.
Talking about creatives who are experimenting and on the.
Can I do some show and tell? I think I have some song stuff.
Amazing. I've been listening to his new album. I mean, how can we help musicians? Tell us how we can help you. I mean, there we go.
Let me click this guy, loading up. And I love this is probably geeky stuff for Prism and songs, but the traits he has on this NFT, like the jacket, grandma's, the chair, pink stool. I'm just wondering if there are other options, like if there's a different jacket I can. But
let me see what jacket.
Is it okay? Can I play a song? Am I allowed to do that? Can you give me a thumbs up? I'm gonna. It's a banger, man. I thought it was yoga music, and this is like good stuff. It's amazing stuff. Like, come on now. So you can buy his album. Is that the right word, album? Or is that just me talking like my granddad?
Go and follow him on Twitter. I think he's experimenting with all these different models of distribution. Like, yeah. But you've maybe done your homework better than me.
Oh no, but what an innovative guy! You're witnessing the future. Yeah, what an innovative guy. He's got a nerd riding sidecar with him in Prism, where Prism is just pushing tech and he's winning hackathons and he's doing crazy cool stuff with Alexa and kind of bringing unlockable content to the consumer devices. Like holy smokes, amazing.
Yeah.
So go back to his question. How can Darkblock help musicians? Right.
Yeah.
I wish we had lol, I hit the wrong number. We're not a marketing organization per se, right? Like we're not a marketplace per se. We're just kind of a really cool tool company.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But we are like. I mean, I think what's cool about Songs is that he is it seems to be very focused on. I mean, he gets kind of this. He's building a community, and so he's engaging. He's a creative, and so. I mean, he understands that this is something that creators will probably need to kind of come to terms with in Web3. You kind of need to you need to have a marketing department. You need to think about the community so that it gives you more options. Obviously, otherwise you're always going to be dependent on someone to release the music for you or do the things for you. And so with Web3, you can take this ownership and he's building a community first and thinking about how to reward his community through NFTs and through content and through the music that he's releasing. And so I think that is where it's kind of that snowball starts to roll, right? And you start to discover what works and what doesn't, and then leveraging something like Darkblock, he has a way to then deliver exclusive content and reward people with exclusiveness. So it's just he's just kind of experimenting with that layer in his community, which I think is awesome, and that kind of then helps us to understand okay, what feature is important for someone like him to be added next. And I didn't want to segue into our roadmap or what we're building, but
I think with Songs, he also represents to us. We've been building these use cases, these model homes. Like this is what we think musicians want, right? And what he represents is what he wants, and delivering that. And if he's got suggestions, we can adapt the product, we can do other things. He's the ultimate use case because he's the creator. He's the guy first line of defense with the owners and the his own customers. That's not his fans, I guess is the right word. And I love the idea that he also represents the bridge. So the musicians that I know here in Austin, they don't make, rent money from Spotify. They just don't. They got to go jump in a van or jump in a RV or whatever, station wagon and go tour to bring in some money. And maybe they sell a couple t-shirts in the back. So what I think Songs represents is this new territory, this new item on the merch table, this new way to bring in revenue. And maybe it is targeted at these early adopter guys and ladies who, have crypto wallets and want to transact in the future. But yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, what do you think? How can we help Songs even more?
Yeah. I really quickly want to address though, Max Smith left a comment, and you might have already left. I just want to say, Max, reach out. I'd love to talk to you about animation and stuff, and how to use Darkblock. He might have already left, but I'll try to track him down after the fact. So the musicians, yeah, I mean, I've had the benefit of talking with Songs. Oh, cool, there he is. He's there. Yeah, I've had the benefit of talking with Songs, so know a little more about his situation, and he has pretty large following on Instagram and TikTok, and I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people.
Huge.
And I know he's said that no one has shown any interest in his NFTs among his audience. So
it's a new audience.
We're very we're very early in that case. You know, and he's the type of creator who is very interested in looking for new ways to you know, get his content in the hands of his fans, of just experimenting for the sake of experimenting in some cases, right? Just wanting to be on the cutting edge, wanting to be a pioneer. So there's always going to be those types of creators, and we love those type of creators. But with musicians, I mean, the ideas are, I have a couple of ideas on musicians, right? Obviously, streaming has changed the music industry forever. It's going to be really hard to ever put that genie back in the bottle, right? I mean, you know, musicians actually used to make money selling their actual music, right? You could sell a CD or an album, and Web3 and NFTs and Darkblock certainly would allow you to do that again, like sell an album and make money from your music. But again, not going to put that genie back in the bottle. So while Songs is experimenting with that, and Prism is creating an app to allow you to play unlockable music, and I think that is definitely going to be a future option. You know, it's not necessarily going to be the only option, right? You're not going to be able to, you know, people are not going to stop listening to Spotify necessarily anytime soon. So, well, what else can, as you said, we're a tool company. If we can give creators, musicians in this case, new Web3 native, you know, distribution methods, new ways to get the content in hands, new ways to monetize, new ways to engage with their audience, then that creates kind of new ways to make money. And yeah, it's going to be one more option on the merch table, as you said, one more way.
What if we can't get away with just being a tool company? We have to bring the audience to Songs as well, right? Like we have to bring a guy who might be interested in heavy metal, and then holy smokes, here's this musician in Stockholm, and I listened to 30 seconds and I love it and I want to follow him, right? Yeah. So that's really what I guess the Web 2 revolution, either Spotify or Apple Music or Facebook, YouTube, the audience is there, and they just kind of discovery is the thing, and we don't have really a discovery mechanism in our tools. Like you got to know where you're going, you know. So I am curious. Yeah. So
I mean, there's obviously music NFTs have gained a ton of popularity this past year. So I mean, there are discovery platforms right now, Sound, you know, .xyz and various others where you know, discovering new musicians that are putting out music NFTs. But yeah, I mean, obviously not on a huge kind of Web 2 onboarding type of way. Yeah. So again, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's necessarily our job at this point. I mean, obviously I don't know.
Maybe we don't get away with it. Maybe we can't be a tool guy or tool builders alone. We've got to help with that audience piece, the discovery piece. Yeah. You know, like
It's obviously something we've been talking a lot about internally.
Yeah.
And you know what this means for us and the whole space, and you know, coming back to kind of 2023 objectives and also like what we can do for musicians, but like also kind of broadening it out, and that's what we've been thinking about, what we can do for creators. You know, that's obviously what we're very focused on, and you know, a kind of a use case that we've been talking about a lot internally is this crowdfunding model where you can sell NFTs up front to fund a project. And so someone like a creator like Songs of Eden, any creator for that matter, could fund a creative endeavor, and then connecting with the community, not maybe necessarily through, hey, do you want to buy an NFT from me? But hey, I want to make this thing, and you like the stuff that I've made, you know, would you want to buy into it up front, fund it, kind of like a Kickstarter? And you can add all those fancy, you know, features to that or whatever, escrow accounts or whatever, leverage other building blocks out there, but basically selling NFTs to fund the project. And then a tool like Darkblock becomes useful to deliver that content at the end of the day, because it's, you know, as you buy that thing, you want to have some ownership. And so I think the kind of the story around how Darkblock works and how we kind of enable kids to do these things, that might resonate with the community. I don't know, like more than just NFTs. And then you have this thing, and the next step is, well, this thing, we can actually maybe monetize access to it together with this community ownership part. And that whole story is so interesting as well. So you have creators funding projects with the community and then sharing in the potential revenue from that content. I think that's a really interesting narrative.
It could, but the build it, they will come. Yeah, I'm going to be the devil's advocate, right? So we can build anything. That's one thing I always feel good about. We've got product vision, we got communications, we've got Nerd Wrangler. Like, we can kind of extend to a number of things, but that audience has to come, and it is like, how do we bring more folks? Here's some our chief spammer. I'm gonna get him some business cards. Like, we got to bring. It's not new blood per se, but I think we can support. What Songs is looking for is more fans and more people to hear what his offering is, and his expression, and for them to know he exists, and that and
that's when maybe something like Bonk comes into play again. Is just it's hard to get people's attention. Every single platform out there. It's not like YouTube versus Vimeo. It's YouTube versus every single podcast or Netflix or everything. Everything is fighting for attention. So if a Bonk token get someone to just pay attention for a little while, and then you actually discover something that's kind of mind blowing. That's a tool. That's a tool that we have at our disposal in the crypto space. We have monopoly funny money floating around that can be, hey, yeah. I mean, so yeah. That's yeah. Is that the way we go back to the old ways?
I don't know. I think in the music, each one of these different verticals we talk about, music or books or any sort of content we talk about, always little nuances here or there, right? Like, obviously music industry is different than the publishing book industry or comic book industry. And I think in the music space, I mean, the music NFTs, like I said, are popular, but really right now it's just collectors, right? It's either like Web3 geeks or, super hardcore collector fans who are already in Web3. They're the ones buying NFTs, right? All the music is freely listenable, and so if you buy the NFT, you're really just, they're collectibles right now, which is fine. But if we think that, the future is decentralized and, we can deliver this content in new ways, again, I think we do. I think in music, I think the on-ramp is going to be tickets. I mean, beyond the collectors buying the music NFTs, for the widespread adoption, I don't know. I think it's probably going to be tickets. So tickets to concerts, and people, if you want to go to this concert, you're forced to buy a ticket. Mm-hmm. That ticket is an NFT. Fine. If that you get people to do that. But then when bands start realizing that, this NFT is convenient, but it's also going to enable me to engage my fans in a deeper way.
You're right.
Hey, by the way, if you buy this NFT ticket, you have tickets. Maybe you could sell like a VIP NFT ticket, right. And if you buy this level ticket after the concert, you're going to have the video recording or the audio recording of that concert that you attended attached to your NFT ticket as unlockable content. So that is no longer just a memento in your wallet. It's going to actually be a valuable NFT that is the audio recording of that concert, right? Like, we're talking about enabling kind of like bringing back the Deadheads sharing their bootlegs, stuff like that. And obviously you could do so much more, right? You could be creating the Web3 equivalent of the special edition box CD sets that we used to buy, where you're attaching concept art and lyric sheets and whatever, music videos, interviews with the band members, whatever it is, like B-sides.
Vinyl's still being sold. I think like the numbers are even going up.
Huge.
Yeah. So it's like, you can almost think of like these. I feel like the Songs of Eden album that I have now has a track attached to the NFT. I feel like that's like my digital vinyl. I mean, You know what I mean? It's like I go and I play it. I have to go out of Spotify and I play it, and it feels like there's a ritual going on, and there's a moment there. It's just like when you sit with the vinyl, you have the cover art. You know, it's a different experience. So I mean,
here I'm gonna let me leave my desk. You guys keep on talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but also I was thinking of you talking about the tickets because obviously. The Stilo crew and Songs of Eden, and they'll be doing like these metaverse concerts. And I know Joey wants to talk about the Apple glasses that they're gonna be.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, imagine like when metaverse concerts actually evolve to being kind of more immersive. You got the gear, and then you'll have these NFT tickets, because that's just native metaverse technology, and then you do all that stuff that Wick was talking about with the tickets, but it's all digital. It's all experience kind of gets enhanced.
So we're talking vinyl, digital vinyl,
Right.
literally.
Show off.
I'm going to show off. So this is, they gave me a candle as well. I bought this. Well. This is an NFT I bought a year ago.
Oh, really?
On Tezos, and it was a placeholder because of supply chain problems. The vinyl companies couldn't press vinyl. Anyways, my NFT I bought a year ago, got redeemed, and I own. And then they spiffed us with a Caleb DeCasper candle. Shout out to Caleb. He has his own. There's a Caleb DeCasper Day here in Austin. Amazing musician. Anyways, so like that conversion, the Fidgetals. I went from NFT to pink vinyl, when it was available. It's almost like a placeholder. It was almost like a reserve. It was but I still had the NFT, and I still have the NFT.
Mm-hmm. Imagine you want to. But I was just going to say, imagine then, the digital vinyl would then be like, you can use something like Prism's Web3 Music Boy. You go like, hey Alexa, play my, my digital vinyl collection, and
100%. I can listen to the music on my, iPhone, and it's in my wallet or through my Alexa device while I'm waiting for, this physical copy that he makes maybe more margin on. I don't know what the money is. But
if we want to talk about the kind of the onboard in the next wave, right?
Yep.
You need to be an artist has a big enough audience that's going to bring them with you. So, right, the small time, like all the musicians doing it. Like you bought that, but that's why I think the tickets are going to be the way, because that's going to reach a broad audience if you have a band, right? And then the audience starts realizing like, oh, I get this audio recording on this NFT, or oh, hey, he got this artist just did this, that, and the other thing, and then that opens them up to like, oh, I already have my wallet now. Now I feel like that's gonna be the bigger onboarding, but who knows?
It's interesting. So Caleb, I've talked to him a couple of times. And the amount of crap he took because he did create an NFT launch, right? So like the musician just wants to express themselves, and yet there's this medium that we're all living in and our paychecks come from that gets such negative, whatever the Russian knuckleheads that got arrested yesterday. Like, why do you gotta? That's not me. I'm not in that business. I'm in Buck Rogers, the future. All right. Speaking of, yes, sir.
One quick thing. Actually, two quick things. Ticketmaster has done NFTs, but it's on Flow, and I have no idea what the update on that is. But that was like announced last fall, I think. Ticketmaster's exploring NFTs, so is something that's happening. Mm-hmm. Yes, and so much negativity. I know that Songs definitely got some of his fans mad when he had he put his album on in a Darkblock, and he's not putting it on Spotify.
Yeah,
like the only way, he definitely pissed some people off.
People just they're so spoiled with technology and this entitlement of like access, and I don't know, is it that, or am I just
I feel like it's a confusion. Like with crypto, we kind of get it because of the speculation and how the price kind of moves, and you've got to be an economist. There's a perception maybe that you're either trying to flip these things and it's a manipulation. But honestly, like I feel like our angle, the Darkblock, it's about consumption. what is the easiest way that I can own something digitally? Because I don't own anything digitally now. Like I don't own Star Wars. I rent. I subscribe. I pay month to month. And if I don't pay my Disney bill, I lose access to all that. And here, with our NFTs, with the kind of dark blocks and the beauty of Arweave, it's once people get it. Oh, you mean this is stored for 200 years and there's no monthly fees and I have access to it? Like once all those lights go off, they're like, oh yeah, it's so obvious. But like we've got to communicate that obviousness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Spotify, like Prism said, Spotify, Apple Music, rental, Kindle, rental, Audible, rental,
right?
Any Apple movies, and this, this is where we talk about the importance of why we think the future of content is decentralized and why I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, Kindle, Audible, these are all, the content is all in walled gardens, centralized, right? You don't have the ownership.
Yep.
Decentralized content means for the creator, it's obviously controlling the distribution, monetization of the content without relying on those platforms, Substack, Spotify, whatever. But from the consumer point of view, it means in a digital sense, in the digital context, right? It means basically unfettered access forever.
Yeah.
Right? That would be the equivalent of ownership, right? I mean, and the existing ways. So, sometimes you talk about Darkblock, we do unlockable content. People say, well, I'm just gonna token gate the content, right? Okay, fine. But get back to my analogy about the movie cameras and that sort of thing, taking new technology and applying it to old formats. Token gating is centralized. Token gating is Web 2. Like you're either, the creators of the platforms are either storing the content on centralized servers, Google Drive, Dropbox,
right,
Amazon S3 buckets, whatever. Even if they're storing on IPFS, you're going to pay a monthly, you're going to pay Pinata monthly to have that content pinned?
Oh, shots
no,
fired.
That's centralized, man. Or, it's a centralized web portal, right? So if you buy an NFT from a comic book creator, has a comic book attached, unlockable, I own that comic. I want to own that comic book. I don't want to worry about, a year from now going back to that website and getting a 404 message.
Which the Lollapalooza, what was it? The Coachella NFTs, the broken links abound, so you didn't you didn't own anything. Like
you didn't own anything.
Right. And I want to own digital things. I've been paying for years for digital clothes for my avatars and weapons for my characters, or, I've been doing that for years, but it's never been portable. It's never been something I could sell when I'm done playing, Call of Duty. Like it's not an asset I own. It's just this hole in the backyard that I pour money into.
Right. Social media gets a lot of attention for the benefits of decentralization, right? Because I think a lot of people on Facebook, Twitter, they understand now that they're the product, right? And Facebook is selling our attention, and we don't own our, everything. If we shut down our Facebook photo, we don't get to take all the photos and conversations we've had and port them over to another social, media platform. We don't own our social graph. So people understand that. So decentralization they understand the importance there. We're basically applying the same thing to decentralized content, right? Instead of that content being in the walled garden, the Kindle or the Audible, where I, as a user, have to plug in to access the content, with Darkblock and NFTs, we own the content and we get to plug in the platforms wherever we want to consume it. So we're a protocol. We're going to be integrated everywhere. I'm on a marketplace. Anywhere I'm interacting with my NFTs, I'm going to be able to unlock that content. I'm in my mobile wallet. Oh, boom, unlock, read comic book. That's going to be the future. That's decentralized content. So that's what we enable.
Yeah. I knew that.
We're gonna buy stock.
Yeah. This is like sports. We should talk about like football next. All right. I do want.
I would clam up if you talk about football.
I
don't follow sports at all.
Oh man, you're missing out.
I just geek out on tech.
And comic books.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just because I'm curious, and is Metaverse dead, or it looks like we're gonna wind up getting an Apple headset. This isn't what of course we don't know exactly anything about it, but rumors are abound. Hardware vendors are receiving shipments And there's a strong feeling that before WWDC in June, we're going to see a headset come from Apple. I'll show you this real quick. The software for kind of metaverse, AR metaverses, VR metaverses has been kind of built in Google and Apple, Android and iOS products for years. Here's like an example. Using your phone to find items in a store, right? And he's been pioneering these kind of planograms. I want to find, a jacket or the milk in any store I'm into. So I'm curious. The software is here. We're waiting for hardware. Are our lives going to change? Like, what do you think about? I'm curious. Prism's feel. What do you think about this new hardware coming to this digital ownership world?
It's gonna make everything easier, right? It's gonna make just like Ledger tried to do with the Stacks hardware wallet. They're trying to make it more accessible, bigger screen, trying to have that iPhone moment, and so make the goggles a little bit better for VR, and then more people will wear them, and then and then it always comes down to use cases. And I was bullish on. I was always more bullish on AR, mixed reality, than VR, because this felt like VR so immersive. It's like you need something big, and then we get COVID and everybody goes home, working from home, and then maybe actually Meta might actually manage to onboard a ton of people just through kind of working. And so, instead of having this rent for all these office spaces, you just buy an Apple headset for your employees, and now you meet in this virtual space. And so you might actually onboard tons of people into VR through better tech and through work. And then, you have people with the hardware, and then all of a sudden entertainment applications will start showing up, and people will actually want to use it because it's super fun. That was kind of,
I think these headsets are going to be our Bieber moment, or whatever moment that moves technology. I think it's the crypto digital ownership moment, because once we really have more of this hybrid existence, where I don't look at my watch or I look at my phone to see what the weather is, like it's just hanging in the air in my headset, or I look out the window, I guess. I do think that digital ownership piece, these NFTs that we hang in browsers on our computers or on our phones, I want to hang them digitally, not necessarily in a digital frame, which is just another TV on its side. Like I want it to be represented digitally, in my environment. I think crypto NFTs. It's
gonna be amazing. Like you go into your office, you're gonna go into I'm here in my. Got this fake background, but that's will be my real background when I have the headset. Like you go into another room, and you're all of a sudden you've done your commute to this amazing office with an amazing view, with all your NFTs on the walls around you. Your digital assets are there. It's obviously gonna change tech. Hardware.
It's a new platform, right? So think about. When the iPhone, I remember a year in advance, I printed out a picture of the iPhone. They provided the dimensions, and we literally printed them out. We wrapped it in a wood block that my son had. He was a little kid at the time, and we had an iPhone, before the iPhone came out, because we knew it was going to change. So from nerd perspective, developer perspective, it opens up a whole new world of possibility of tools that would be needed, of how do songs of Eden exist in AR? How does he set up shop? How do I consume his product in these things? And then how do I own product? How do I support him? How does he, So I think everything gets shaken up again. And when we escape from the glass rectangle, and it is physical, like that is like existence changing. Like it's it's a thing. If I can filter out, people's faces, if I can filter out, truck nuts, on the back of pickup trucks here in Texas, things that kind of just bug me, and I just tweak my existence to the things I love. Everything's rainbows and
The
sunshine.
ultimate echo chamber.
It will be, right. We already do that. We've already filtered our life kind of based on our likes, and then we know when there's a glitch in the matrix. Every time Amazon shows me a Los Angeles Lakers ad or a recommendation, I know that Amazon hasn't achieved a level of targeting, because I would never buy anything from the Lakers. I'm a Celtics guy, right? So imagine when that extends into the physical world, where I can really curate my existence as far as what I'm experiencing in these glasses. I don't know. What do you think about you gonna buy some fancy headsets that you wear?
I've yet to ever buy a Oculus or any headset. And I think I've only worn an Oculus once, and then and then I did a little actually just over holiday New Year's vacation. Me and my family went to Kansas City, and we went to the Legoland there, and they have at Legoland they have this VR setup where you're doing like a race, a Lego race. That was super cool, and it was my 6-year-old's first experience with VR, and he loved it, obviously. So I don't have a lot of experience with it. Obviously, anytime I've interacted with the metaverse like spatial or whatnot, I'm just kind of on my desktop. So cool, but certainly not immersive. I certainly think it's going to be much bigger than it is. I agree with Dari. I've always been more on the side of that augmented reality will be it. I don't know. Maybe at least initially, maybe I think the future. I don't know. Yeah, I just think
because we already do.
No,
I was just gonna say, because we already do so much augmented reality anyway. We have like noise cancellation headphones, filtering reality, and got the transparency mode on the Apple ones, and so you're already layering your reality there, and so I don't know, but yeah, that's why I thought AR would be kind of the kind of would make these headsets and these tools more kind of usable, or that would be kind of the way they would be adopted. But
I think the software is here. Your spatial audio, which is just unbelievable, right? Like that experience, it's here. It's been here for years. We're waiting for something that engages with our eyeballs, and I think they have, based on the rumors, VR is going to be first, because of it's going to cost $2,500 to $3,000 to start, and it's harder to have the pass through and have that be affordable. Although like the Oculus Pro, which I'm in love with pass through, like I have giant computer screens if I just want some focus time, giant computer screens that are just projected here in my room. And I can hang things on the wall.
I'm not up to date on the rumors with the Apple headset. Will that not allegedly have pass through, or I would think
no? There's supposed to be a cheaper consumer version. I mean, who knows anything? There's supposed to be a cheaper AR kind of friendly version. That's going to be the cheaper Apple Watch versus the Apple Ultra, right? There's going to have something for the consumers to kind of get onboarded, and then the early adopter nerds, we always buy the dumb expensive stuff, and then just kind of grow people into the product line. But audio wise, we've had that box has been checked. Software wise, that's been checked since all of us went running around chasing Pokemon 6 years ago. Like there was an augmented reality component to that. Just we had to hold our dumb phones in front of our faces. So once we get the glasses, our world changes. Darkblock changes, NFTs change, because you'll be able to consume content outside of the 30% tax system that Apple already has. All right. Can we talk one thing about our product?
Sure.
We were talking about, let me share a screen here. We were talking about, share this tab instead, right? So upgrading NFTs, We've had that where basically, any NFT a creator creates. So here's one that I created, and I can essentially add, or not essentially, I can add content to that NFT and deliver it to NFT owners. But we've always had and also had collection upgrades, and we've added a new feature to collection upgrades where basically you can target individual token IDs. So, when it comes to that model you were talking about, Dottie, for a crowdfunding, if you're delivering an NFT to people who are supporting your particular project, that's a crowdfunded project, and think about like the tiers, like the way Kickstarter has or Patreon. You come in by this date and you get this tier, and stretch goal is this, and then you receive a t-shirt or who knows what it is. But digitally, we'll be able to add upgrades, add unlockable content to ranges or individual NFTs. So basically this crowdfunding model where you're rewarding people who were in early, people who helped support you, you'll be able to target them and give them thank yous or whatever digital asset you're delivering. Oh, Prism's intrigued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. It's just another way to target. It's like, the first 100 who buy get this thing. It's another way to incentivize and reward your supporters, your fans, your community. So it's cool. Yeah.
What was it? We got a question, Prism. Can we update existing dark blocks? So you can update the metadata associated with a dark block right now. It's just got to be the same file, right? Because it's encrypted, and that's kind of, you can't. Yeah, that's on chain and permanent. But we are, I don't know. We are going to build the ability that you can update, essentially replacing that reference entirely. A new file has been uploaded, it's encrypted, it's stored, and then you can have it not show up in the viewer.
Basically what should we call it, a manifest or a config file or something that kind of says like, you basically just change. You can't change the file that's been uploaded to Arweave, which is what Darkblock uses. So all the files that the protocol encrypts, it stores on Arweave. Right. That's permanent. That's not going anywhere. But what you can do is we can build some tools on top and then give creators some logic to work with so that they can say, okay, hide this one. But as the owner, you will always be able to see kind of the revision history. So if you have a typo in your ebook, you can fix it, and just like it happens, so you print it, it goes out, it's on the shelves. But if you own that copy, if you bought that copy and they say, oh, you can get this new one for free, you still have the old one, but you're not going to be reading that because that's a typo. So that's a cool feature that we our team is working towards.
As that came up with the comic book creator I was talking to, because I was telling him about how future project that we're integrated with right now, Omega Runner, they're dropping a PFP project. They want their community to basically take those characters and create backstories and lore for them, and how we will enable them to give their communities the ability to add unlockable content to their individual tokens.
Right.
And so that PFP suddenly has a backstory, and you sell that NFT, that character, and it comes with whatever the previous owner attached and the story came up with. And he's like, well, what if I buy it and I don't like that story? Can I ditch it and delete it and start from scratch? And I said, well, technically, the content is on Arweave. It's immutably tied to the NFT. On the front end, you could give the creator the ability on the front end to have a viewer that surfaces only certain files, right?
You can hide it, like you hide a book in your bookshelf or something from the box set you bought, but
I'm not like a photo. Like you favorite things, and those bubble up to the top, and then there are things that just are in the archive, right?
You edit the history of whatever's there,
Yeah, I was because so Voice Atlas, with other project in Web 2, so get back to learning about. yeah, Voice Atlas. I don't remember. Jump in Discord if you're not already there. Say hello. Like we do video calls. We'll hold hands. We'll walk you through it. Like we feel our stuff's pretty good. We've got real competent development team, product team. Yeah, we'd love to talk to you more. Let's see. What does he say here? Unless we have the original file and replace the existing metadata related to the file. Yeah, so you can do that today, right? If you re-upload the existing the Darkblock file, you can change the metadata all you want. Oh, look at this guy. Was Mr. Frank? Hey, Frank. Happy New Year, man.
Frank?
When Darkblock NFT Marketplace? Yeah, dude. Let's go. I'm gonna send a screenshot to our CEO right now.
Yeah. Maybe sooner than you thought.
The demand is huge. Yeah, like we're building a ton of tools, but the part where we feel like we got to have an audience, more audience for our creators, and bring people, be a destination. How do we incentivize noobs off the street to come on in and check out, our tool? Huge demand. Yeah. We're talking about it. Like,
we wouldn't call it a marketplace, but something that, well, obviously monetization that's the big piece, and so
right.
we want to make that all easier. So
everybody wants to take the money. Everybody wants to be a cash register, and Dark, we haven't been in that. Like we haven't been transactional in that way. We just kind of protect the content and deliver the content if you're the appropriate person to deliver the content to. But what we find is we have these creators creating, Songs of Eden, Movieplex, the work that others are doing, and how do we bring complete strangers off the street and let them understand the value. So maybe some sort of marketplace. The question is, where's the deal happen? Our problem is we support 5 chains right now, and we don't want to mess with our partners that already own marketplaces, and we're not competition to them. We just enhance. Like we enhance things.
It gets to your question earlier about, or not question, comment earlier about discovery on the music side thing, right? We're don't need to be a marketplace. We're a discovery platform for unlockable, exclusive unlockable content, right? And different verticals there, right? Comic books, music.
Well, then you kind of initially you prune it yourself, right? We become tastemakers or kingmakers or whatever that word is, right? Cool hunters. Like we highlight certain collections. Then ultimately the audience, we reach a critical mass and kind of recommendations get figured out. I want to sneak this in here. This is Prism, just like, needling. He's like, hey, Joey, we've got a bunch of different options that we're looking at, Prism. So we're going to have a good game plan. Probably by the end of the month, you'll know what you get for Q1. We're figuring out some stuff. We're doing some cool things. It's not all fleshed out yet, but we're close to having them fleshed out. And then I'll be able to tell you what we're going to do for the first half of the year, and then just get to coding. So yeah, we're working on it. It's probably going to be another month, but then we'll have a significant improvement in streaming. Yes, sir. Okay. I heard you updated the website. Look at this. Are we paying Prism? Like, does he get a check? Like, from this guy is like, he should be in charge of like my LinkedIn profile. We did update our website, and I'm going to show off. And we've got some more things planned. So on our kind of D app, our app, darkblock.io.
Excuse me.
Yeah. We're highlighting various creators, so we had been building these model homes, these use cases that were just kind of us guessing what creators would want to put in Dark Blocks. And here are, Songs of Eden, Blockstone, incredible metaverse creator. Griff did some amazing art and distributed it to his holders. The Omega Runners folks, the NFT lottery games, just some wild. It's crazy that we know all these characters kind of behind these projects. The Jungle Cats folks, coming out of Munich, the Snotwort steals Christmas stuff, and then Frank and the Movieplex.
Yeah.
Like
The Snotwort's an advent calendar. Pretty cool.
It's amazing. Like it's just all right. We went an hour because I kind of wanted an hour, and I just wanted to kind of shoot the breeze. Hey, Prism, we got a lot. We'll formalize this. We're kind of figuring out the plan for the year, and then kind of provide predictable updates. It's all gonna be about improvement. It's all gonna be about how do I consume my dark block easier, quicker. It's gonna be how do we help creators turn this into an avenue for revenue. Like it's really we think about it every day. Yeah.
Because I mean, maybe just because you mentioned that, and we can just wrap it up. But that's the big thing. Is like okay, people hate change, and they want to listen to music for free, and they want access, right? And so, and music, obviously, Songs of Eden has launched this album, and it's got the music there. Imagine if anybody who doesn't even have to own an NFT could just show up and access that.
Right.
And Songs of Eden flips a switch in monetization, and all of a sudden, me as a holder, I can say, "Hey, Joey, you don't own this NFT, but you can listen to the music. It'll cost you, $50 or whatever, and then that splits between me and the creator. Wow, you've got a new incentive to participate in this space. So it's all about incentives, I think, and making it easier to access the stuff, and this content, make it easier to access, and then incentivize people in new ways or old ways.
Whit, you got anything to close us out? Thank you, Dari. Whit, what you got?
I don't know. I could go on another rant about decentralized content. Or
Get off my lawn.
Please, one more rant. Come on.
Gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, incentives, like we said earlier. I mean, I think that if we provide creators, musicians, the tools to engage with their audiences in new ways, monetize their content in new ways, deliver their content in new ways, they're gonna find new ways to make money from their content. And I think that's the our ultimate mission, right? Is to empower creators with this new Web3 technology. Yeah.
We already empower, like, kind of burying the lead. Like, already you can upload files through our service into Arweave for permanent storage, and you pay like no dollars. Like, we're already incentivizing. We already pick up that cost.
Yeah.
So, like, what other things? Rewarding with a bonk token. Every time you upload something, you get incentivized Starbucks points, Darkblock token. Who knows? Like, what we could do to, like, what would get creators kind of building. All right, we can ramble all day.
What can we do for them?
What can we do? What can we do for you? All right.
This, am I correct that this was being live streamed at Davos, right? They're all listening to us there.
They're all in little. Yes, it's being translated in multiple languages.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to
like
check.
United Nations, everybody has a little headset on.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hang up on everybody. Hey, Dari, thank you. Whit, thank you. Prism.
Yeah.
Frank.
Good.
What do we got? We got little new blood in here. Voice Atlas. I don't remember seeing Voice Atlas on Welcome Aboard. Max. Yeah, we got a couple new folks. So hit us up in Discord, and we have a new guest, another guest next week that you haven't heard of before, and doing some interesting stuff. So talk to y'all.
Crowdfunding, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah. All right. Talk to y'all later. Ending stream.
See you later.
Ciao,
All right,
fellas. All right,
See
guys.
ya.
Thank you. Let's see.